Hello sewing friends, Deb here again, Slap Happy Sewing for another edition of Friday Sews, and I'll get on with it. First of all, what have I been doing? I've made the Cashmerette Roseclair dress, and I'll cut to it in a minute, but I'm really pleased with it. I think it's beautiful. It's just a lovely dress, and I was a little worried because it's got sort of waist definition, but I think because I made the tiered one and the skirt's so full, I think it gives me more of a shape because, you know, as you know if you watch my channel, I'm a little thick in the middle, but I think it's just right the way it pulls you in, but it doesn't feel any bit sort of constricting or tight. Now, a really good thing about this Cashmerette Roseclair is of course the bust fit is perfect. That is why I love Cashmerette patterns. So those of us who are busty, Cashmerette is the place to go in my view, and I am not in any way affiliated with them or anything, yeah, I mean the fit of the bodice is just fantastic. Now, I made no alterations to the bodice at all. I didn't make it any longer. I cut a size 18 in the shoulders, a 20 GH at the bust, and then I graded out to a 22 at the waist because I wanted to make sure that the wrapped round completely, and I didn't skimp there. Also, the fabric that I made it with, which you'll see in a minute, is it's like a crinkle, so, and I'll tell you in a minute how I worked with that crinkle, and I hope I don't live to regret it. But yeah, I thought if anything, but it's going to get smaller, not bigger, so I want to make sure I've got plenty of room in the waist. I also, the only adjustment I made to the pattern is I lengthened it a bit. But anyway, let's cut through to that now, and you'll see what I mean. I just wanted to talk to you about this fabric. It's this crinkle fabric. Let's just show you close up. Can you see the crinkles in it? Well, what I did was, I've never really quite known how to manage this crinkle fabric, so what I did was iron it so that it was as flat as I could get it, cut out and make the dress, and then once I've made the dress, I actually sprayed it very lightly with just a very fine mist of water, and it did make the crinkles come back in. Now, I am a little worried that when I wash this dress it's going to go like, but even if it does, I can just iron it back out again. Whereas the way that I've had these garments before, when they fit you well when they're crinkled up, but then they just gradually get bigger and bigger over the day, I don't like that. So I'll report back and let you know how I get on with that. After that success, I've been doing a little cutting out. My Cashmerette Upton dress, oh, I'm all Cashmerette in this one. That's funny, isn't it? My Cashmerette Upton dress, I've made two of them, and one is a summer dress, which I haven't been wearing because it's winter, but the other one is a thick one which I wear most of the time with a jumper underneath, and I've really enjoyed wearing it that way as a pinafore. So I had this lovely slightly stretch, and it's a bit like Ponte, but it's suede-y on one side, that I bought off my lady secondhand who was destashing. And there was only 2.9 meters, but by hook and by crook I managed to cut another one of those pinafores out, so it's purple. But same as before, I have made one before out of navy Ponte, which I'll show you in a sec, and I've cut it out exactly the same way. So the dress should be lined in the bodice and at the waistband, but I never bothered to do that because I was a bit worried that using a heavier fabric it would actually make it too thick and too hot to wear. So hopefully can get on with this, and I'll be able to wear it a bit in the spring because it is getting towards spring now. So basically I've only made one layer, and I'm going to use bias binding like this. If you look inside, you can see I didn't do the back waistband, and neither did I line it. So I'm going to do it the same way. I've just used a bit of bias binding. Didn't line it, didn't do the back waistband, thought it would all make it too thick and heavy. I could have used lining material, but it was just much easier to do it this way. Both of these fabrics, this one here and that one, have got a tiny little bit of stretch in it, which makes it very comfortable to wear. So happy about that. And I've cut it out exactly the same way. So hopefully can get on with this and I'll be able to wear it a bit in the spring, because it is getting towards spring now. So what I'm going to do is to make a blouse to go underneath it, and I'm going to make a blouse that's got statement sleeves. Now I may live to regret this, but I'll show you this material now that I had, and I think it would be great for that. Now I wasn't sure about this fabric, but I think that, which is really very 60s, I'm going to make myself a top with some statement sleeves to go under that pinafore. I'm not quite sure what pattern I'll use. I know I don't need to buy a pattern. If anything, I've got patterns that have got those kind of statement sleeves, and if I want to make them more statementy, I can't think that that's too difficult. I've been working away at this jacket that I made a while ago. I'll just cut through to it now. I'm going to try and attempt to explain to you what I've been doing with this coat. I don't know if you can see it well enough. If you look closely, this is a Rad Patterns Luca coat, and I loved it actually. I'll put up here some, I have worn it a few times, but it had two problems. One was that flappy bit on the double-breasted part just used to drive me a bit nuts, because a lot of the time you wear a coat open and it was kind of flappy. And the other part about it was that I found it a bit cold, because it's just made out of this fabric. I don't know what this fabric is. It's almost like something that's more like upholstery fabric, but it isn't. It's not thick. Love it. Love the colours and all of it. But as I say, I was finding it didn't really have enough warmth as a coat. So I had cut the double-breasted part off. I don't know if you can see really well here. Cut it off, and I've realised I probably should have left more space, because it didn't really cross over enough. So I reused the placket, and you can see the buttons in this part here, but I won't reuse those buttons. I may well use press studs, but more about that later. So see the lining, I did actually, it's the first time I think I've ever lined anything, apart from I've lined a bodice of a dress before. Found this fabric when I was trying to make some room in my knit box, and thought, I'm never going to wear that. Actually, that might make a lining for this coat. I was kind of looking out for something navy to go with the hood, but I thought, oh, that might be good enough. So it's actually got a bit of stretch. Now, I don't know if this is going too off-piste. It's got a fair bit of stretch. So I made used the pattern to make another one and put it inside, and I've popped it in underneath the, and basically I've got to hem it all round, and hopefully, and then redo these, either do buttonholes or put poppers in there. I'm not sure which, but yeah, wish me luck. Let's see how this turns out. Well, I hope you enjoyed my sewing adventures for this week. I'm hopeful for spring now, and I can start making more spring type of clothes. So what's on your cutting table right now? I love to hear, because I know that I've got New Zealand viewers. Hi everybody. I'm very pleased to hear from you, so always say hello to me, please. And my other viewers who are in the Northern Hemisphere, I know that they will be in a shoulder season too. They'll be coming into fall, so it's presumably at some point our temperatures must overlap, and I'd be interested to know what you're making in this season. Right, that's me for today. Have a great week everybody. Hope all is well where you are. I'll speak to you again soon. Do take care. Bye.